Commander, no matter what you've seen on the news, you mark my words, this war is far from over. We've still got a number of blue zones up for grabs that could go either way, but that's not what's bothering me. Come here. INOPS has been interrogating some Nod POWs, and they've come across a couple spouting similar threats here. Have a look.
This is only the beginning. Fire will fall from the skies. Disease will waste your bodies. And your souls will cry for forgiveness when Cain unleashed his fury!
It could be typical Nod rhetoric, but it sounds to me like they're getting ready to use WMDs. That's why I'm sending you to North Africa. If Nod's got the goods, that's where you'll find them. Hopefully a preemptive strike will nip this nightmare in the bud. Oh, and Commander, let's keep this one off the radar. The public's already scared enough. Sanders busy putting all the pieces together. You can get all the pertinent details from Kersey. That'll be all.
Commander, the situation in North Africa is still very fluid. Egypt is the primary target here. We just learned an irrigation plant just outside of Casabad is a front for a Nod chemical weapons factory. Obviously, we need to shut this down. To the north is the port of Alexandria, where Nod is distributing their weapons to the rest of the world. Unfortunately, it gets worse. We believe that Nod is assembling nuclear weapons in an underground facility in northern Cairo, which may explain why the area is so heavily defended. Anyway, the first step in cleaning up this sector is to take out that chemical weapons factory in Casabad. I'm not sure what happened. I lost contact with the zone troopers you were supposed to rendezvous with at the chemical weapons factory. They said they found something, but then I heard shots and the feed cut out. You need to get in there, Commander, see what happened, then take out that damn factory.
Incoming transmission. The last communication point with the zone troopers was the barracks ahead. Secure the area.
Go, boys, move out!
Welcome back, Commander.
Rifle squad. Yes, sir, we'll hold the line.
Intelligence data updated.
As is usually the case, we have a few things to contend with.
Construction options.
Let's rail some vehicles.
Intelligence data updated.
I don't know if that verbiage is the right one I'd use, but alright.
Captured. Established.
It seems interesting that...
Commander, the target is not a chemical weapons plant after all. They're doing something with Tiberium. Take out that facility and see what intel you can uncover.
This facility appears to be manufacturing Tiberium-based weapons. Engage and destroy it.
GDI seems to announce all its operations?
Intel indicates that Nod has vehicle production capabilities nearby. Eliminate them.
Like, how does one determine what you would have
New bonus objective.
be more quiet than others?
Unit sighted. Training.
But maybe I'm just thinking about it a little too much.
On hold. Cancelled. Intelligence data updated.
It's probably already apparent that this is a different style of mission than the ones we've played in recent times,
On hold.
and one that is
Funds.
interesting. We don't have any sort of vehicles, we're not building a base. It's a step backwards, but with a small enough map, it works out pretty well. We also get the previously seen Zone Trooper again.
Where the hell is all the Tiberium at? Nod must have harvested it all.
Unit promoted.
We're here.
Unit under attack. Our base is under attack.
It seems a little strange sometimes to think about Zone Troopers being bad against infantry, especially considering they have what amounts to rail guns.
Okay.
What's the call?
But I guess you have to make some units just vulnerable or inefficient, regardless of what they actually use.
Hold your ground, soldiers!
Despite also their increased armor, or at least the one that they're wearing, making them immune to Tiberium, that doesn't necessarily make them stronger or more resistant against vehicles. As such, you still have to worry about stuff like attack buggies going around and taking out your valuable infantry.
I got all I need. I'll see you there.
Upgrade complete. Unit under attack.
Troopers in the field.
I didn't learn it during this mission. The next GDI one kind of taught me a lesson in setting your stance, as they call it. If you're familiar with Age of Empires, you know a lot about unit stances, being aggressive, defensive, neutral, etc. And this is sort of very important for the sniper.
Base is under attack. Bonus objective complete.
I'll check it out.
Since they typically prefer to not shoot if they don't have to, it's a weird thing to observe.
To go. What's the call? What's the call? Let's get over there. Let's go.
Unfortunately as well, when you're selecting a group of multiple types of units, you'll note that you can't activate special abilities. You have to only select that that type of unit, which frankly I think is kind of an oversight.
Trooper squad.
Granted, that sort of limitation becomes less of a problem as RTS games continue. We'll see a lot more of that, well, for people who have played StarCraft 2, for example, you'll see that way more. Just having to tab to select the different types of units.
Missile squad ready for combat. What do you need? Missile squad ready for combat.
I have to admit, it is a little frustrating having to play this scenario. Not as much as the next one, from GDI anyways. But it really stands to reason that the incredibly limited amount of money that can be generated in this map, coupled with the fact that the Nod forces get an infinite amount of units because they don't really pay for their production, makes it a tenuous operation to complete.
Enemy base sighted.
Get a load of this.
Enemy unit
I'll check
sighted.
it out.
Unit promoted.
Troopers in the
Intelligence
field.
data
Trooper squad.
updated.
Ready for coming in clear, Commander. Sniper team, where do you need us?
Upgrade
Keep 'em
complete.
coming. Here, want some more?
Unit under attack.
It is nice, though, to see that you really do need a mixed composition. More and more, the single unit sort of waves that you could throw at enemies in previous games really isn't the case. And it gets proven more and more as we progress. It's a bit of a hard lesson to learn sometimes just because, well, I've had to kind of think about it
Intelligence data
more and more. As a deliberate thing, anyways.
Weapons factory? They're using Tiberium.
unit under attack.
That's right. Let's do it. Have at it.
There's some weird comments about how this isn't a weapons factory because they use Tiberium, but Tiberium-infused weapons have been a thing.
Troopers in the field.
Even Nod's previous superpowers and Tiberian's Sun are evidence of that fact. So it's kind of strange that somehow
Unit sighted.
we just learn that the dastardly Nod would stoop to such lows.
Unit promoted.
What do you need? What's the call?
Unit under attack.
This
Unit
one's for my
lost.
friend.
Troopers in the field. That's right. Punch it. What do you need? Have at it. Get a load of this. We hear you.
I have to imagine how much of the multiplayer scene was annoyed at having zone troopers that could just jump up and down hills like this. And thinking about my earlier comments on StarCraft 2, I wonder if the now I'm blanking on the name, so that's super cool. But I wonder if there was influence on one of the Terran units for this sort of action.
We're here. Let's get over there.
Mission accomplished.
Good, you're back, Commander. That facility you captured in Casabad turned out to be a treasure trove of information. Unfortunately, the situation's worse than I feared. Nod is building a Tiberium weapon. Dr. Giroux down at GTEC is leading the analysis team. Doctor, what else can you tell us?
Nod has found a way to weaponize liquid Tiberium. This much is certain. Our raw data is still preliminary, but we believe a liquid Tiberium explosion would have a yield roughly 10 times greater than a 200 megaton thermonuke. Now, with a proper catalyst, such a blast may also create a self-sustaining exothermic reaction.
You're talking about a chain reaction.
Precisely. Any proximate Tiberium deposit, liquid or crystal, would be instantly detonated.
My God, in a yellow zone. That could be thousands and thousands of acres. Thank you, Doctor. Keep me informed. This changes everything. Commander, seizing that liquid Tiberium device before Nod deploys it, that has to become our #1 priority. I want you to take out that port in Alexandria. We can't let them start exporting components out of Egypt. When you've put those problems to bed, then you can focus on Cairo.